should you try to repair your relationship with your abuser? I'm talking here about the past general abuse from a family member. Somebody, whether it's a parent, whether it's a father, whether it's a mother, that has harmed you, has molested you, has traumatized you, has shattered your psyche to such, has neglected and abused you in such a way that now you not only your self-esteem, your self-confidence may be shattered, or you may be suffering from trauma-related mental conditions. So should you try to from your healing process, should you try to bring them into the healing? You see, this was one thing that I used to do in the past when I was working with clients who were suffering as a result of somebody else's problems, generally the parents. And in their process of healing, part of their process of healing, the ability to forgive the trespassers, it's a fundamental aspect, a fundamental element for us to be able to leave that luggage behind. Because if we cannot, in fact, we cannot move forward in life if we hold this hate, this sense of injustice, this sense of unresolved pain. Because as long as you have not reached the level from which you can forgive your trespasser, but that's not even correct. That's the common understanding of you need to get to a point where you need to be able to forget. But the correct way of looking at it is, in fact, if you have not reached in that process of healing, whoever has helped you, if your specialist is not helping you to raise your level of consciousness to such high level from that superior level, to have a panoramic view from which you can understand the context that has led to those perpetrators to become who they are, to become perpetrators. And it is that understanding, it is that panoramic global view that does away with the need for you to forgive them, because forgiveness is substituted by understanding. You will be into a meta understanding, into a superposition from which you can understand well. You rise above yourself and your subjective experience, and above your pain. Hello, everyone. And as we are, sorry about that, and from that level, from that high level, you can understand both. You can see and empathize and hold yourself as the child, as the person, the young adult who has been the subject of this abuse. But you can also, from a higher point, dispassionate and uninvolved point, you can also observe the full context in which this abuse was possible. The factors that have led to your parent, to your abusive parent, to become that who they were. I've been, for those of you who have followed my videos or have in the videos I haven't disclosed, but in the books I have, in the Conversational Self book I have, you know that I'm doing what I'm doing today as a result, and coming from a long period of domestic abuse from a narcissist, from a psychopath, narcissist, Machiavellian, and I think you can find like, in a way, the demon incarnate, but thanks to whom I have finally embraced my calling, my spirit to go and answer that spiritual calling that I had since I was born. And as a result, now I'm able to help people heal from conditions that medicine and all the scientific inventions cannot help. So it had a good ending. It had in a way a purpose. Without that higher understanding and that spiritual meta awareness, I wouldn't have been able to heal and to forgive my perpetrator, who has caused incredible harm to me and my daughter. But from that meta analysis and understanding, I could see how he himself was a victim of his narcissistic mother, and her at her turn. So if we are tracing back, we'll always see that there is a chain of victim perpetrator that has been perpetuated throughout human history. So and then I know, and I'm saying in everything I do, and when I'm talking about this duality between the spirituality and materialism, between the positive force and the negative forces, I know that just as there are good, pure-hearted people are pure evil people, and they don't need to be the victim of any abuse. They are pure evil, point. But those are rare. The majority of people who are causing us pain are either a mixture of both, or are most of them a result of this long chain of victim perpetrator that has been proliferated in our society as a result of the top down rulership, the lords and the peasants, the industrialists and the little workers, the ruling class, the elites, and then the broken normal people that have put all the work in and they don't see any results other than them being ill, not being able to provide for their families, and feeling that wrenching sense of impotence when we look at our children that are struggling and are suffering at the hands of narcissistic employers, of narcissistic partners, because narcissism is rampant today. And it is because more and more, as I said, from that cycle, from that path, instead of breeding human spiritual values, we have been infected by that virus of materialism, of demonic self pleasing and self satisfying drives, instead of our more community oriented, family oriented, spiritually oriented values that place accent on honesty, on virtues, on honest work and occupying the right position. So we have been sold on this false premise that the tall poppy syndrome, which is real. But there was, I remember, in coming from a small mountain village, there was something humbling and healthy in keeping everyone in a way in the other place. Those who could raise in ranks were, in a way, those that well, first of all, those that didn't want to attract attention on themselves were those who were excelling at something and were providing with their excellence in a way or another, whether there was a farmer, whether there was an old lady that she was making the best recipe for the wedding cakes, or there was something about each of our villages, especially in the village of my grandmother, where everyone had their place and there was no competition amongst any of them, yet they all had their place. None felt inferior to the other, and in a way they all needed one another. That's the beauty of the human spirit and of living, of community living, instead of mega cities and mega structures, where the work and the population are aggregated in a small place, displaced, social displacement, causing a disruption in family disruptions, family left in a country or in an area, and the others are in the cities, because there is where work is, there is where the money is. And as a result, that is bound to create a society built on non-healthy human values, on competition, on dog eats dog, because they don't belong to the same tribe, they don't belong to the same community. As a result, who cares? Within that community and family-oriented structure, everybody knew everybody, and as a result, people were censoring their most animalic drives. It's not that they were saints. Nobody was saint, but they had they were taking more care of their soul, let's put it that way, and or of their demonically in stimulated drives, so that because they were afraid of and didn't want to be talked by the village, they pay attention to their life more and to their actions. Whereas in the city, the plus is that most people find is like, nobody knows me, I can do whatever I want. That is a plus, yes, but each plus comes with a minus, and the big minus is that it's good and dandy, because, and that's also without you realizing, is the demon incentivizing you to let yourself free, just like Pinocchio in the Pleasure Island, to try everything as if nothing mattered, because nobody knows you, and as a result there are no consequences. The downside, obviously, is that you are quickly charmed on this path of debasing pleasures. But more importantly, it comes a time when you realize that you're very lonely, when you need somebody the most to realize that you are alone, that the friends you have are not really, they don't feel like that community that you had when you are in your town, in your little town, your village, where yes, everybody was a pain in their backside because everybody wanted to know everybody's business, but at the same time, when you are in trouble, you could always knock at the door, you can ask some money, you can ask some everything that you needed, and everybody will try to find a way to help you out.